Hello everybody. Man, I cannot wait until I get loaded so my sister can catch this shower. But I'll be having so many videos that I want to bring to you guys. So when I get the downtime to knock them out, that's exactly what I try to do. I try to knock them out. So this is going to be a verbal way of how to drive a 13 speed. But I'm trying to get like the camera setups. Hopefully I can get like my sons to come with me so they can add on to helping me film. Hey Tremaine Moore. Hey, here I go. You've been with me for a while. But I'm going to do my best to explain how to drive a 13 speed. Now I might not explain it perfect, but I'm going to explain what I know thus far. So that way if anybody ever get a 13 speed, you're not sitting here looking clueless. Let me see. Charles Brandt, good morning. Bernard Jones, hey dear. Doug, I still don't know how to drive it, man. It's okay. And believe it or not, let me put this down. Believe it or not, and I made a video about this, automatics is messing up drivers something terrible. And the reason why I say that is, like, a lot of times people are hard on themselves because they're not perfect like everybody else. Or they're not perfect like somebody that's been doing this for 15, 25, 10, whatever years. But with being good at something, it takes repetitiveness. So, okay, you just got into trucking. You might not know how to back it perfectly like everybody else. But why are you being hard on yourself? You have to learn it. And in order to learn it, it takes getting experience. So getting experience takes doing something day in, day out. And trust me, when you out here in this trucking, you're going to do this stuff day in and day out, because a lot of these trucking companies will run the mess out of you. See, I didn't cuss. I caught myself. So, like, I'm going to do my best to try to explain this. All right, let me try to flip y'all. So the way and I'm just, like I said, I'm not sure because I just learned how to drive this myself. But if you know how to drive a 10 speed, then you know how to drive a 13 speed. Now, the way you know that a truck is a 13 speed, because it have this red thing on the side of it. And what this red switch is, it goes in between the high gears. So the high gears are the ones that is the clear, and then the black are your low gears that you're going to start off in. So I never really understood why they call it a 13 speed, because really it's not 13 speed, like the speed, like it go up to 8, but each of the high gears has 2 gears inside of them. So technically, so that'll be, let me see, you got 4, that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So technically, oh no, it's a 13 speed. Okay, I see it. Because like if these clear ones have 2 gears in it each, then 4 times 2 is 8. And then if the low gears only have 1 gear, that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and plus reverse. So I see why they call it a 13 speed. Okay, but starting off, now, you have this low right here. You're going to use this low if you heavy is, I was going to cuss. If you heavy is, I don't know what. If you like, hold on, let me try to explain this. My face is dry again. No, that's my protein. I got my protein shake right here that I made from yesterday. But what you will start off in as far as a gear, it determines where you at. Are you on an incline? Are you going down a decline? Are you pulling something really heavy up an incline? Are you pulling something heavy even just going straight? Everything as far as what gear you'll start off in depends on where you at. So let's just say you're over sometimes 30,000. I would have to say 30,000, between 30 to 35,000 pounds most of the time, especially if you're on an incline. If you're going up a super incline, you're going to put that sucker, if you're on a super incline, you're going to put that sucker in low. And when you put it in the low gear, what happens is when you put it in the low gear, the torque actually gets more torque to where those wheels is really like pulling to be able to pull whatever you got back there, or to pull up a hill. Like the torque in the transmission is that much more in the low gear or the lowest gear. So let's just say for the 13 speed purposes, let's just say, because today I just delivered a 42,000 pound load. Of course, it was liquid. And anytime you take on a liquid, all liquids are heavy. I don't care if it's beer, soda, water, all that stuff is heavy. So anytime you carry a liquid, anything over 35,000 pounds, you want to start in that low gear to be able to pull you up a hill, or to be able to pull you. Sometimes you can start off in the first gear. Every so often you can start off in the second gear. But just to be safe, so you don't sit there looking stupid and stalling out. Because what will happen is, if you don't start off in the torque, like the torque is the low gear, then that gear that you try to use that's not meant for that heavy load, or it's not meant to pull that hill, what's going to happen is it's going to stall out. Wait a minute, I gotta move up, y'all. Give me a sec. And then a lot of times too, when you putting a truck into gear, and that's even on 10 speeds, you have to be easy with the clutch depending on the truck, because some trucks got some touchy clutches, and then some trucks got some good clutch. Like I like this truck, because this truck is forgiving. Like this Cascadia right here is very, very forgiving, and it's not that hard on my knees either. So I guess I gotta sit here until, because I know they make me move. So I'm gonna sit right here until they pull up. But this video gonna take a while, because really me verbally explaining it to you, you'll get the gist of it, but until you actually get in the truck and get the feel of it, it helps you, but you gotta get in here and do it yourself. So let's see. So when you have a stick shift, you always have 3 pedals. You got your gas pedal, your brake pedal, your clutch. This is your clutch right here. So let's say I push this in, and I'm light right now. So by me being empty, I could pretty much start off in the 3rd gear with this, because I'm empty, so I don't need that much torque to be able to pull me. And sometimes you gotta kind of like play with the clutch, because if you don't play with it, it won't go in. So you see, look, sometimes you gotta let off and it went in. I don't know why it does that, but it does. So always, like when you come off the clutch, always kind of shake it and make sure it's in neutral, because if you come off the clutch, you know, pull your brakes, but then the truck is still in gear, the truck going to stall out, and it's going to jump, and it's going to just stall out and shut off. So when you put in your truck in park, make sure you pop your brakes. Make sure you put your truck in neutral. And the way that you know your truck is in neutral, because you just shake it. You see how loose it is? By it being that loose, you know it's not in the gear. If it was in the gear, it wouldn't even move at all, like it would be in that gear. Now, some truck drivers, and that's when the truck is off, some truck drivers, I guess for extra brake, some truck drivers will actually leave their truck, I think, in the 1st gear. Like they'll leave it in gear. I don't know how that catches whatever, but they'll actually leave that truck in gear with the brakes pop for, I guess, extra brake or whatever. But like I said, if you empty on a 13 speed, you can start off in the 4th or the 3rd gear. And the reason why most truck drivers will start off in that high of a gear, because they don't have to shift through so many gears to get to the highest gears. Because who got time to keep doing like this, especially when you're trying to get speed. And let's just say you're trying to get speed to get through an intersection, or you trying to get speed to like get to where you're not blocking traffic. Like it's so many different situations that will call for this different type of shifting patterns. But like I said, once again, that comes with experience. Like I can try to tell you what I can, but until you get behind this wheel, you won't like for sure know it. All right, so starting off, like let's just say we want to start off in the 2nd gear. Like I said, you're gonna push your clutch in, and then you're gonna put it in. Like I'm in the 2nd gear right now. You gotta know this diaphragm, and then you're gonna push both of your brakes in. That's if you are hooked to a trailer. But if you're not hooked to a trailer and it's just your truck, you will only push that in. So once you got it in gear, then you would push the gas pedal. And when you push the gas pedal, for newbies, this is going to be your friend right here, and this is going to be your friend. So when you like push the gas pedal, well, it's going to make sure when you shift, let's just say I'm starting off in the second gear. In order for me to know to shift to the next gear, which would be the third gear, I would have to get this between, I say between 12 to 1300 RPMs. Like, you got to get it between that, and you don't have a lot of time to do it. So when you get it to like this midpoint, then you need to, let me see, hold up. For newbies, you're going to double clutch. I don't clutch no more. I float my gears. So for new people, when you get it between that 12, I say from 12 to 1500, but you don't really want to get to 1500, but then you start burning more fuel than you need to be. So it's always about fuel costs. It's always about trying to save on your MPGs, getting the highest MPGs that you can. But once you get between 12 to 1500, you can shift it between those intervals. You're going to double clutch, like you're going to double clutch, and then you're going to put it in third gear. And then it's going to go really fast. Like, it's not going to go as slow as I'm explaining it, but it's going to go fast. So now when it gets to that 12 to 1500 again, double clutch, go into fourth gear. Now this is when it gets a little tricky. This is when it gets a little tricky, because the last gear, let me see, hold up, let me see. The last gear on the low side is all the blacks. The last gear on the low side is the fourth gear. So once you get to that last low gear, you know, from all the double clutching, now it's time for you to flip that switch. Once you flip that switch, now you have access to all these high gears. You have access to all these high gears, and it's going to be the same principle. It's going to be the same principle as far as double clutching when you within that 12 to 15 RPM. Now, when it comes to the RPM, I believe that every truck is different, because of course some older trucks, you know, they might have a higher RPM to where you have a shift point. Like, whatever truck, depending on whatever truck you have, you will have to find your sweet spot of your shifting points. But for the average, most people out here is driving Freightliner Cascadias most, or you probably driving a Kenworth T680, or you probably driving a Peterbilt. And so far from what I've seen on the 10 speeds and stuff, most of the shifting points is from, like I said, 12 to 1500 RPMs usually, unless you got especially like different type of truck or whatever. So like I said, now that you got that switch flipped up, now you can access your high gears. And it's going to be the same concept when you're shifting up. You're going to double clutch, you know, put it in gear. And then I feel like the hardest part for new people when they're trying to learn how to shift is going to always be downshifting. Downshifting is the hardest part for people when they're just learning. Because the reason why it's so hard is because instead of double clutching, now you're going to single clutch. It's like, okay, let me see how can I explain this. So let's just say I'm going 55 miles an hour, right? And let's just say I'm coming up on my exit that's like 0.3 mile away. Like it's like a couple hundred yards away. So I need to break down my speed. Most of the time when you about to hit, I'm back. Wait a minute, y'all. I'm gonna have to take this phone call in a little bit, but let me try to go through this real quick. But most of the time when you have to break your speed down, and most of the time when you about to hit an exit, most exit ramps are from like 25, sometimes 20, from 20 miles per hour to about 35 miles per hour. So if you're going from 55 to 35, that is when this is going to come into handy. Now, you won't be doing a lot of multitasking, because you're going to have to pay attention to the road. You're going to have to pay attention to cars, you know, going in and out. Then you're going to have to see when your tachometer is tacking out. Then you got to see what speed you're in to kind of know where you need to be as far as downshifting. So I realized with this 13 speed, like once you get into Once you get into your highest speed, which is the 8th gear, anything I realized from 45 miles on up, you don't have to shift no more. The only time you have to shift again when you get in the higher speed, by the top gears having 2 gears in them, this yellow switch goes in between the 2 gears on the top. So when I'm in the 8th speed, just like in the low gear, I think it's the high gear. If I'm in the low gear, no, if I'm in the, I'll be in the high gear if it's this way. If I push it this way, it's accessing the low speed, I believe. So starting off like with the switch this way will have me in the high gear, I believe. And a lot of times when you shift straight to the 8th gear and you're in the high gear, this tachometer going to be going past the 15. So when it's going past the 15, you always want to try to keep this tachometer below 15. And the way to do that when you see it start going that far over is, and this is why you driving, you're going to push this, well, you cannot access the high gears when, like, because right now I got the switch down. So with the switch down, I'm still on the low gears, and the low gears only have 1 gear per gear. So this won't work because it's only 1 gear in the lower gears. But I believe if I switch it up, now I can access the 2 gears in the high gears. So by me pushing this forward, well, I'm not in any gear right now, but whatever gear that I would go in, I would be accessing the low gear, I believe. But the major difference with a 13 speed is this switch right here. And like I said, the major difference with a 13 speed is that you got more options of gears to go through. So like, I like it because when I'm climbing hills, and sometimes like you will see the tachometer going up, so you think it's time to shift to the next gear. And sometimes it can be that way, but then when you shift to the next gear, the tachometer start going below the 1,000 RPMs. And when it goes below 1,000 RPMs, it starts to want to shut off and bog out. So you always want to keep your truck above 1,000, like in between that 1,000 and 15. You got to keep it in there, or your truck will shut off, or it'll start acting real crazy. So I just realized that, like, let's just say I was climbing the hill in 7th gear, but it seemed like it want the 8th gear, but it really don't want the 8th gear. It think it wants it, but it don't. So instead of me shifting to the 8th gear, I'm going to push this red switch up. I'm going to push this red switch up, and when I push this red switch up, it's going to access that low gear in the 7th gear. So when it access the low gear in the 7th gear, and remember I told y'all how the low gear has more torque. So by the low gears having more torque, it's going to be able to pull a hill a lot better within that 7th gear until it gets you on a more level ground to where now you can shift to that last 8th gear. And sometimes you got to go all the way down to the 6th gear in the high. Like you just got to feel it out. Like a lot of like shifting, and like I said, you're going to run into different situations and scenarios to where whatever you shift into is going to call for different situations. But all you really need to do is know like how to upshift, how to downshift, and when would you use these high low gears on the high side. So that's really the only difference, because as far as, dang, he trying to squeeze through here. You squeeze through there, my brother. It is kind of tight up here. I bet you this load gonna be heavy because I think I'm picking up a damn bunch of salt. Man. But like I said, that's the only difference, because when it comes to this 13 speed, like you're going to shift the same. It's like if you ever drove a 10 speed, it's the same way. Like you're going to start off like, I mean, the only difference is the numbers, because obviously on a 10 speed, it goes straight from 1, like reverse 1 and go up to 10. But on here it goes to 8, but within that, like the last 4 gears, it got 2 gears in each and plus a reverse. But as far as like upshifting, double clutch, upshift, double clutch, upshift. But in my situation, I don't use the clutch. And the way you float, like I said, you gotta learn your sweet spot. Once you hit that sweet spot, like my sweet spot on this truck is 13,000 RPMs. So when I get about in that 13 RPMs, I let off the pedal. You know, I shift it into neutral. And before I like put it into the gear I'm trying to get in, I'll gas it a little bit and then throw it in the gear that I need to throw it in. That's how I float. And it normally goes right in. Every now and then, especially when you on a damn steep incline, sometimes you gotta fight that sucker in there. Sometimes you have to fight to catch a gear if you on a serious incline, especially if you heavy. If you heavy, you trying to like throw that shit. You be like, get in there. Man, you have to be quick and swift on a hill. I don't even care if you on a highway like 77, 64, like whatever highways that got them really bad inclines, or West Virginia, whatever. You better catch your gear, you know, in a decent time frame, because if you don't, you will stall out on that highway. You do not want to stall out on a highway. If you do start out on the highway, make sure you can pull your tail to that shoulder to get out of the way of oncoming traffic, because traffic sometimes is coming. So that's why it's really imperative that you learn your truck. It's really imperative that you learn your gears and you learn the shifting points, so that way you can catch these gears in a timely fashion, because everything is going quick. Like everything is like you're multitasking, like you're aware of so many things, and you have to be in order to operate this 18-wheeler in a safe manner. So like I said, the only major difference between a 10-speed and a 13-speed is this right here. And the main thing right here is the fact that you got, let me see, is the fact that you, instead of, like, you have more options on the high gears. So on these high gears, you got like multiple options to where you'll be able to keep that gear longer, because now you have a high side and a low side. So it's like you got more torque in each gear, to where the high side is kind of where it's not as much torque, but then when you flip that red switch, now you got torque to where you might not have to shift to the next gear right away. Like, you got more options. So if you ask me, now that I done got accustomed to getting used to driving a 13-speed, I choose a 13-speed over a 10-speed. I would. So when time comes for me to, you know, buy my own truck, I don't even want a 10-speed. Like, I'd rather have a 13-speed, because like I said, you have more options, and I feel like having a 13-speed is a lot helpful on climbing hills, because you're not sitting here like, you're like, what, I don't know where I need to be, help me. But yeah, man, I gotta call my dispatcher back, because he was just calling me, so I gotta get off here and see what he wants. And then I gotta get ready to pick this load up too. So let me catch a few of y'all messages before I get off. But like I said, I think I'm gonna have to demonstrate it, because it's kind of really complex to verbally explain this. Like, no matter how much I tell you, like I said, some people are like visual learners. Like, they actually have to do it themselves to get it. So if you're really thinking about becoming a truck driver, if you're not already a truck driver, don't beat yourself up in the beginning. Nobody comes out the womb knowing how to drive a truck. So I mean, everybody sucked when they first started. I still suck, and I've been out here for 4 years, even though 4 years ain't that long. But I mean, you learn every day. So just have fun with it. Have fun with it. You know, like, have an open mind to where you're not going into the trucking school acting like you know it all. Some people be like, oh yeah, my grandpapa drove trucks for 15. I remember when he showed me. No, dog. When you go to a school and you get with a trainer, clean slate all of that. Because nobody can teach you something when you coming in here trying to tell the trainer how to do his job. Let the trainer do their job, even though you got some crappy trainers. But if you got a good trainer and you have a good school, let them do their job. Have an open mind to where you can retain what they're trying to teach you. But there's nothing worse than a hard-headed trainee that think they know it all. And it's like, how can I train you and you hard-headed? You don't listen. You know what? I don't think trucking gonna be for you, because you trying to tell me like as if you've been driving longer than me and you a rookie. So I don't know. Like, I mean, be open-minded. And even if you've been out here for a while, still be open-minded, because you never know it all. Regulations change so much. So much stuff changes out here to where nothing never stays the same. So it's always an opportunity to learn something new today. But like I said, I got to get off here because I got to call my dispatcher. Wait a minute. I got to pull up too. Wait a minute, let me pull up. So you let off just a little bit until you feel it pull. When you feel it pull, then you come up off of it. When you feel it pull, that's when you come up off of it all the way. Because if you come up off of it too soon, like I said, this thing will stall out and the truck will cut off. And a lot of times, what I'm trying to get good at, I'm trying to get to where I'm not necessarily looking at my tachometer for shifting. Like, I'm trying to get to where I'm doing it by ear. Like, I'm really trying to get to where I'm listening to my engine and I'm shifting with ear instead of shifting by doing like this. So yeah, man, shit. Like I said, open mind. Open-minded, be open to learn something every day. Stop coming out here acting like you know it all. Because like I said, nobody knows it all. Nobody knows it all. So now I'm in neutral. Now. Pop them brakes. And I gotta like bump up my cruise control so the idle control won't shut the truck off. But I'm gonna get a few of y'all messages and then I have to call my dispatcher back. Marvin G. Norman, do you drive to ports? I haven't been to a port in a while. But I think they do go to ports, and you gotta have a TWIC card. If you do come out here, even if you out here and you ain't got it, invest in your TWIC card, man. That saves you money and time. Like, make sure you carry all your credentials. Let me see. Invest in your TWIC card. Invest in your CDL. Invest in your CDL by getting your endorsements. Like, I can't seem to pass that thing. Hazmat, that hazmat is kick tail. See, I didn't cuss. The hazmat is kick tail. But a sister got her doubles. I got my tankers. And of course I got my C. So the only thing I really need to get is my hazmat. Once I get my hazmat, I got everything. Because I got my passport. I got my TWIC. I got my tankers. I got my doubles. So I just need, all I got to do is get my hazmat. And to be honest with you, I feel like hazmat is where it's at. Because I mean, like, I see a lot of local jobs paying good money. Like, local paying good money for hazmat. But I ain't got my hazmat. So, man, I need to get in that book and stop being afraid of failing and really continue to keep trying until I pass the test. It's like I failed it 3 times. I failed that hazmat test 3 times. And each time I was butthurt. Yes, I like what the kids say. I was butthurt. I was like, I just wanted to pass. I was butthurt. I don't like failing. I'm very competitive, man. I don't play that. If I do something, I like to try to be good at what I do. God knows. I work on the port, but I'm going to Africa. See, I want to go to Africa. I want to make that one of my vacations one day, is to go see what Africa's like. I really do. Glocka Glack, are you still? Hell no. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with apps, but them mother suckers couldn't treat me right with a truck. So I was like, deuces, I'm out. Y'all appreciate all this hard work I'm putting in. Deuces to you, not me. Larry Sneed, you need to try about when you get your, yeah, man, that's where it's at. That's where the money's at. Going to get it for $1,000. LOL. Don't cry. I'm a cry baby. A big old baby. They ain't meant to be trucking. Hey, sister. You okay, honey? Are you okay? Them mother suckers that hit your truck. Mother suckers, man. Yo, tell them what happened, man. I mean, I don't know if you want me to tell it. But like when you on the road, right? And to be honest, this almost just happened to me the other day. Like, you could be in your lane, minding your own business, right? And for some reason, some truckers, other truckers, and four-wheelers don't pay attention to their lane control. So while you going down the road, you minding your business in your own lane, right? And before you know it, a truck driver is coming, or another four-wheeler. They're coming from their lane into your lane. And I got so scared the other day. Because it was this other truck driver. Like, say I'm in this lane, right? And he was actually on my driver's side. And you're supposed to be surveilling. Like, you got to have a broad view of surveilling your surroundings so you can counteract it before you even get to it. So out my peripheral, out the side of my eye, I see this motherfucker like, excuse me, I'm upset because that made me mad. But I see him fishtailing this crap. And he fishtailing, and he literally was this close to hitting me. And by me being in the far right side, like I ain't really got too many options. It's either go off on the shoulder and like go off, like maybe hopefully it ain't a cliff on the side, or just take the hit. So I'm sitting here like I know I'm not about to get sideswiped. Like I really know I'm not about to get sideswiped. So that being said, really, if you can, because some stuff you can't help. Sometimes some people are not paying attention to where they on their phone, or they arguing, or whatever the reason, and sometimes some people just gonna hit you. But if you can foresee it, look on your right, look far ahead, look on your left, look in your rear mirrors, look in your hood mirrors, and really try to counteract to see if somebody is about to hit you. And if you can kind of like either slow down to let that dumb son of a gun go, or speed up to get away from them, like you have to pay attention out here, because it is so easy and so quick to get your stuff messed up. Like I was scared, because I was like, damn, I don't feel like dealing, even though I know it wouldn't have been my fault. But you still got to go through all the procedure of calling safety, taking pictures, reporting this. And even what I realized is that as a truck driver, whether it's your fault or not, you still have to go take a random drug test. So now I got to sit here and go through all this nonsense because this fool wasn't paying it. And I think when I rolled past him, he was driving like this. Like doing like this. I said, ooh. Some of these truck drivers, you see, this what I be wanting to do to them. Like if I could really reach out this window and just grab them by their fucking neck, excuse me, and choke the hell out of some of these people, I would. Because some people be really trying to cause serious accidents to where like, really, dude? Like, really? That's why a lot of truck drivers get in fights, man. Because sometimes some stuff that people do, it can cause my life. It can cause a four-wheeler that got a mother and kids in there, all because you doing like this. All because you doing like that. Like, get the fuck off the phone, man. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I gotta go, y'all. Let me put my sneaker on. I get some damn Timberlands. Some of these other truck drivers, they make you want to beat their ass. I'm telling you, make you want to do some damn shit to some of these people. Some of these truck drivers, I be wanting to get them suckers a black eye for sure, because they be disrespectful. And one thing I can't stand, you will not disrespect me. My main thing is respect. If I ain't got nothing else, I don't care if I ain't got no money. You gonna give me some respect. You gonna respect my authority around here. You heard me? I gotta go, y'all. I cannot never get y'all messages. She meant to be driving like fat. That's what I'm saying. Cause your truck got jacked up. Like they did a number to your truck, and that was really I felt your pain, sis. I felt your pain, man. Let me see. Cardell Hamilton. Keep it 100. You got it. Yeah, I got a twig. Going to get 4,000. Push the clutch in a little more. That's what I realized. Because like I said, a lot of these trucks got different feels with the clutch. And this clutch is forgiving. But I realized that on this truck, you really do have to push the clutch in all the way, even just to get it to start. So you're right. I probably need to depress it a little more to release the gear so that it can kind of go in a little easy. Because sometimes I be fighting. I be like, get your ass in there. But all right, y'all, I gotta go. Because I know my dispatcher, he probably watched. Like, man, she don't get her stupid self up off the damn phone and call me back. I'm gonna call you back, Seth. Like, damn, Seth. Man, I don't know what I'm gonna do with you, Seth. If you're watching this, I got some words for you, young man. You gonna stop. You gonna stop. I ain't even gonna say what he needs to stop, but you know what? I love your accent. You love my accent, Joseph. Let me see, Stephen. When I went to drive for UPS, they did a very good job with defensive. Yeah, you definitely gotta be defensive. You gotta be everything out here because other people's lives and your lives depend on it. Like, this is not a game. When you in this rig, when you are in this truck and trailer, this is serious business. It is serious business. Like, every time I get in this truck and I turn my key on, I'm scared every day. Because every day you don't know what's going to come your way. You don't know if you're going to hit snow. You don't know if you're going to hit rain, black ice. You don't know, like I said, if somebody going to sideswipe you or run into you, run you off the road, or if you're going to get kidnapped, murdered. Like, it's so much stuff that comes with trucking. It's not as simple as, like, it's fun to make money. No, there's a lot of responsibility that comes with saying, okay, I'm a truck driver. Like, this job can be and is dangerous if you don't do everything you can do to make sure that you having a safe and successful career. Like, this is not a game. This is not a game. This shit is serious out here. But let me get off here because I know Seth probably gonna be blowing. I got it on Do Not Disturb, so he probably called me but can't get through because I got that shit on Do Not Disturb. So hey, but let me get out of here, y'all. I love y'all, and I hope that I'm gonna have to make another video because I know y'all probably was confused when I was explaining it, but I tried to explain it the best I knew how. Great job. Oh, thank you, honey. Let me see. Mocha. Hey, Mocha, MG, JB Hunt Trucking, JB in the house, or something the clutch need. It probably do. Because this truck do need a little bit of work. Like, let me see. I know the steering wheel, like when I got this truck, the steering wheel is off. So it definitely need an alignment. Oh, I found my Jake brake. The Jake brakes on these trucks, depending on the truck you got, is in different locations. Like on this truck, in order to turn the Jake brake on, you have to push this. Like you see this red light right here? So I'm gonna push this. You see how the light went off? So that means the Jake brake is off. So now I'm gonna push it again, and now the light is on. So this is like the highest level of the Jake brake. And when you push it down, that's the lowest. So of course I leave that sucker in high because a lot of these hills that my butt be going up and down, I need that Jake brake. But they just showed me the Jake brake. What was it? Day before yesterday. So I had this truck for almost 2 weeks, and y'all already seen the video in West Virginia, and all that West Virginia run, no Jake brake. That whole drive that y'all seen me going around bends and doing all this and doing no Jake brake. I did that shit with all foot brakes. Skirt, 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 skirt. No Jake brake. Before I found out where this Jake brake was, I was sitting here fighting them hills with just a regular foot brake. And by the time my ass get to the bottom of that hill, all I smell is brakes. I'm like, man, my brake gonna catch on fire, man. I have to either get this Jake brake fixed or they need to do something. Because if I have to keep fighting these hills with these heavy ass loads, my brakes are going to catch on fire, and I can't have that. I don't care how slow you start before you go down a hill. Eventually, and especially if you heavy, your truck is going to pick up speed. And when it's picking up speed, you have to brake, and eventually you want to start smelling like your brakes are going to heat up. Every time I got to the bottom of the hill, before they showed me where it was, I smelled my brakes, and them shits was hot. So God definitely was with me. God be with me every day. That's why I praise his holy name. Thank you, Jesus. And I'm not playing. I'm not using his name in vain. Just because I cuss don't mean that I don't believe in God. It's just that I'm working on myself. But yeah, man, God be with me out here. But I gotta go, y'all. I got to go. Let me see. James, Kai, Cashel, one love, hun. AV Purse. Amen. James Price. Hey, how you doing? Let me see. Keon Milton. If you don't mind me asking about the CDLs, which shit, A. Shit, that's an easy one. Because B, you can only drive buses. Well, for A, you can drive everything. Like, even if you just wanted to drive buses and you had an A, you still could. So with an A, you're available for a lot more than just restricting yourself to just one class of vehicles. But I love y'all. Y'all have a lovely, lovely day. Like I said, I have to find a way to set my cameras up. Because I got cameras. It's just that I'm so used to picking up my phone that I really don't have the used to picking up the other stuff. Because this is my 360 camera. This is my 360 camera right here. So I could easily mount this camera to my window, like to do backing videos. And then of course, I got a second phone, so that's always another camera. Then I even still got my GoPro I don't use. I got my GoPro. I got that damn Sony camera that I still never use. But I'm just so used to just picking up my phone, I don't be wanting to deal with all this other stuff. Sister get lazy sometimes, or should I say tired? Shit, man, I'll be tired. I don't be feeling like I give y'all what I can. Like I said, I do what I can. That's all I can do. But yeah, honey. All right, y'all. Let me call my dispatcher back for he get mad at me. I love y'all, and as usual, sister be checking in again. Going to get for LOL. Use the trolley to pull the wear on the trailer brakes, especially if it's a drop in the hook. That's some good advice. Good advice. Thank you, Mr. Milton. Hey, Oracle. Hey, beautiful lady. Hey, honey, be safe. Love you. Love you too. Michael, YF, cool. All right, y'all. I'm out. I love y'all. U.S. Coach Bus. Yeah, they make decent money. All right, 4,000. Y'all have a great, great day. Love y'all. Hugs. Love y'all. All right, y'all.